So Gemini. It's Gemini's turn to pull some cards and see if there's a message for you guys that you can connect with, hopefully, that pertains to ye and thee and all of the we that you are with me. Let's see. I don't know what the fuck I just said. I just came to mind, so I said it. All right. Sounds like a Gemini thing, right? Geminis. So this is a full moon, and this full moon is in Scorpio, which is a very intense water sign. Gemini is a very not intense, the opposite of intense, airy, fairy, bubbly, light, effervescent air sign. So this is a lot of heavy, thick energy for Gemini to be in. Gemini just wants to bubble to the surface with laughter and light, and Scorpio is like deep and brooding and wants to go to the depths of it's the deepest of the deep. But this one is in eclipse. This full moon is in eclipse. And eclipses happen every 6 months. They're pretty regular, like clockwork. I said regular. They're pretty regular. They happen like clockwork. 6 months from now, that pair of eclipses will be related to this pair that's happening right now. We had one on 4/20, and today, May 5th, there's another one. And this is related to the 6 months before. So 6 months ahead, or 6 months before now, think back on what you were doing, what was happening in your life, because that's related to right now, what's happening in your life. And right now, there's big stuff eclipses are dramatic visually, but they also are dramatic energetically. And so they bring a lot of just changes to when they trigger your chart, and they don't always trigger your chart, but if they do, they're big moments. And they trigger dramatic shifts. Like you could have weeks and months and years of shift, of transformation happening within a couple weeks during the eclipse portals, because they're that potent, they're that energetic and transformational. So this is just a big moment for some of you, not all of you, but in general, it is just one of those portals that we get into every 6 months or so. So just be aware of that. It's not your normal full moon. Eclipses add a little more meaning to it. Sometimes a lot more meaning. So, okay, so what do we have here? What message does the world need to hear as far as Geminis from the universe? I don't know. Find out. The Knight of Swords. Have you been rushing ahead and like acting first and thinking about it later, and like saying shit that later on you bites you in the ass? Gemini. Because there is the need to think before you act. Really to in order to save face from disgrace, slow down your pace and don't just spit out anything, the first thing that comes out. Think about whatever it is that you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Maybe don't be so impetuous and quick to think that you know it all. I don't know what the saying is. There's a saying that's like the wise man knows that he doesn't know shit. I just put that in my own words, but basically, like, nobody knows it all. And it bites us in the ass when we act like we do. We're all here just learning. So, I mean, nobody knows. I can't say nobody knows any better than other people, because some people do know a better way to do things. But just don't let your words bite you in the ass. Think about your words. Gemini, you're all about words. You use them so much. And they're one of your blessings to the whole world, is just your gift of gab, your gift of banter, of putting shit into the right say for people to understand in the right way. And they can wound. Words can wound, just like this Knight of Swords. He is thinking about how powerful his sword is. Maybe because he hurt somebody with it by accident. He didn't mean to. And he's regretting it. And that's what's coming up right now for you guys in this reading for this full moon. That's one of the truths that the full moon is bringing to light is words are weapons, and they can wound, and they can be cutting, and they can be destructive, and they can be harmful. So use them wisely. Think before you wield that weapon and swing that sword, because words are powerful. There's words that I'm sure all of us have heard in our lives that still repeat and cut in our mind and wound things that we've heard from the past, that insults or just hurtful things that were part of a pivotal moment in our lives that traumatized or caused some sort of wound that is still healing. Words are powerful. Don't forget that, and use them wisely, because and just as easily as they can wound, they can heal others. They can bless others. So this is saying, think about that. Think about the power that you have with your ability to communicate. What a gift that can be, and what a blessing, and how that can also hurt and be harmful if not used wisely, and you don't give it that sort of reverence and that honor it for what it is, for what it really, really, all the power that you have at your fingertips, through your voice. Your voice, it's crazy to have a voice, because without a voice, no one's going to know what's in here, unless some form of communication, sign language, that's communication, pictures, drawing, writing. But to use your voice, and it's such power. Your thoughts can be shared. The internal world can connect with the external. That's just mind-boggling. And we forget how powerful that is, just to have that ability. We take it for granted, and we say so much bullshit, so much garbage is said every day, like communicated in person or on social media or whatever. It's just so much is said. How much of it really matters? How much of it has any true merit, any meaning, or is worth anything that's going to change somebody's heart or shift somebody's soul or heal or and not wound and not just further just bring people down and be harmful. That's a lot to think about, I know, but think about it. I don't think part of the problem is that we don't think about that shit. Words are weapons, and they can be medicine as well. So that's a lot about the first card. Death reversed. What are you not allowing to die right now in your life? There's something that you're holding on to that is pretty much dead and gone, and you need to keep on living. And you can't keep on living if you keep on holding on to this dead thing. You're better off if you can find a way to accept it and to integrate that and process that and then bury it, honor it, give it its funeral, whatever it is, like give it its moment of celebrate its life for what it was, because it no longer is. And your life can't be either if you just live in the past and try to live on through this thing that's gone. It's never going to be the way that it was. And I know it's a hard truth to accept, but death is part of life. And just think about like a breath. Gemini rules the lungs. You breathe in, that's like life. You exhale, that's death. It's all cycles. You do it again. That's life, death, cycles. Everything is a cycle. You turn your car on, you turn it off, or it dies. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. Everything is cycles, death, life. It's all just a circle, and it all comes around again. But you can't. It doesn't ever stop at one point. You can't just. Life doesn't work like that. When you die, right? Then it stays that way. But if we're here alive, we're not dead, and we can't live like we're dead. Or else, what's the point of being here? You were here to be alive, to live your life, to be embodied, and to make your dreams come true. And if you're stuck living in the past, You can't even be in the present, much less the future. So if there's anything that you know, and you do know, that you need to accept and let go of, accept it for what it is, as hard as it is, let that go, and realize that there's just going to be anything that you're getting rid of or that is leaving your life. Know somewhere deep down in your gut that it's just making room for something else that's even better, and nothing will ever replace that you're letting go of. But you can never expect, and you can never guess, like the other thing that's going to come into your life, not to replace, but to be another addition. But if it's not going to come in if you don't allow it, if you don't make space for it. And in order to do that, to even just live in the present, much less the future, you got to let go of the past. So do whatever you got to do to accept that and let it go. Like I say, honor it for whatever it's worth, for that place that it holds in your heart, for all the time and effort and the love that you put into it. Give it its celebration of life. Bury that shit. Honor it. Give it a beautiful funeral. And then move on. And you can always leave flowers there, and you can always bless it with beautiful memories, and just pouring your heart and your feeling and your love into it, just with your thoughts. But it's gone. I'm sorry. But you're not. You're still here. So you have to move on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. You got to keep going. You don't want to feel left behind. You don't want to let life leave you behind. The Well. Okay, so this deck has a couple extra cards that they made just for this deck. And so I have to make up my own meaning sort of to this one, because I don't know exactly what it's supposed to mean. But tarot is cool that way, because it's not supposed to mean anything other than what it needs to be in that moment for that person. And this is for Gemini, so it's a whole lot of persons. And I'm just talking about one of you. The Well reversed, I think it's representing maybe the reservoir, that the never-ending fountain of opportunity, of like the well is where we draw water from, and water is life. Without water, we die. So it's like the birthplace, where Mother Earth can give us her bounty of her life-giving water that quenches all parched beings. It's the unlimited reservoir, the deep well of life, of imagination, of spirit, of heart, of hope, of harmony, of finding that your soul needs to be nourished by. That steady stream of consciousness, of internal, just soothing. It'll rinse you clean no matter what. It'll always be a steady rinsing. There'll always be more that you can always use to cleanse yourself, cleanse your soul and your spirit. And reverse, it's kind of hard for you to imagine that, I think. That's why it's reverse. And that's why it's hard for you to let go of whatever this is that you're not letting go of. It's because you think that nothing ever will replace it. Nothing ever can take its place. And nothing will ever be as good. And if you let it go, then you're letting go of the best thing that you ever had. But that's not true. You're gonna. Nobody can force you. I can tell you everything I just said, but nobody can force you. You have to choose for yourself, and you have to get right with that truth. And there's no timeline. And whatever it is that you decide at this point, with this full moon and this eclipse, 6 months down the road, think about this moment, because it's going to be connected to whatever you learned or decided to look away from in this moment. So pull one more card, and we're going to do it from this angel messenger light decoration here. And I wish you well, Gemini, and blessings to you at this full moon. And I hope that you can make the right decision to accept, to use your words wisely, and to use them even towards yourself, to help heal yourself and not to harm yourself. And to realize that the universe is never going to let you go without. There will always be a way, and with the well, it's saying that you will always be well. So, let's see here. Okay, this card just got pulled 3 times. Virgo got this, Taurus got this, light for the world. This is light for the world, people. I guess apparently, like, for whatever reason. By the work that I do, I help myself to grow. I assist in bringing the light into the world through the divine. I direct the conscious energy of my thoughts in a positive way so as to participate in this wonderful flow of peace for a better world. I just had an epiphany that as I'm reading this for the 3rd time, by the work that I do, by this work that I'm doing, even though I don't really know if I should do it or if I'm doing it well, I'm helping myself to grow, and I'm assisting in bringing the light into the world through the divine and directing the conscious energy of my thoughts in a positive way so as to participate with all you guys in this wonderful flow of peace for a better world. So in my small way, I'm adding to, hopefully, this wonderful flow that will never end, this well that will never go dry, and helping to connect other people to that. So I just realized how everything's a mirror. We're all related to each other, reflections of each other. That's crazy. 3rd time this card comes up in my... I'll pull one more card at the end of the reading. Light for the world, guys. Let's light each other up. Be the candle that lights the many. I hope you find all the peace you guys are looking for and you need. Amen.